If we ask you to pick one family in America that gives the real essence of the American vibe, there is a good chance that your answer will be the Obamas. But there are things going on behind the scenes that most people are not aware of. From the moment Barack Obama joined the White House as the President of America, the whole world has watched his move carefully, and that also includes a lot of attention moving towards his personal life. People admire the Obamas, especially because of the bond they share with each other. Michelle Obama has been a role model for many with her message of hope, family values, and unity. On top of that, her contribution to the fields of education, poverty awareness, and human rights has made her a beloved figure. Barack and Michelle have two beautiful daughters whom we all saw growing up, Malia and Sasha. Now that these girls have grown up, a whole new chapter has come to light. Very recently, one of Michelle Obama's daughters shared some shocking truths about the family. To be honest, no one saw that coming. This changes everything because it is a shock to those who have followed the Obamas for years, and it shows a part of the family to the public that not many know about. What are these secrets, and how do they change the way we see the Obamas? Well, that's what we are going to talk about in this video. Let's begin by talking about Obama's daughter and their secrets. Before being elected as the President of the United States, Barack Obama was a state senator in Chicago, and that is where he settled with his wife, Michelle, after their marriage on October 3, 1992. After 6 years of their marriage, the couple welcomed their first child, Malia Obama, who was born on July 4, 1998. Barack is often seen praising his daughter, Malia, and saying that he is so proud of her. Malia also has a younger sister, Sasha, who was born on June 10, 2001. In the year 2009, the family decided to move from Chicago to Washington, D.C. This was when Obama became president. The kids did not love this move, and we get that. Being in a city for years, making your childhood friends, and then deciding to leave all of that behind and move to another city is hard, even for adults. So, it was understandable that Sasha and Malia weren't particularly excited about it. But change is the only constant, so when Malia and Sasha arrived at the White House, it took them some time, but they eventually settled in. At that time, Malia was 10 years old, and Sasha was just 8. Obama ran the United States as its president for 8 long years, and during this time, Malia and Sasha lived in the White House. They went to Sidwell Friends School. In an interview in 2011, Michelle stated that the girls are doing great and living a healthy and normal life. Barack shared that the sisters are very close to each other and that he is very happy seeing them turning into young women. Michelle also shared her views after becoming a mom. She stated that the parenting style has changed as Malia and Sasha grew up. She went on from being mom-in-chief to advisor-in-chief. Malia and Sasha have found their own way in life, and nothing makes Michelle happier. It's very interesting how these girls grew up handling all the spotlight, their activism, and even Secret Service following them, even when they're on a date. Let's talk about Malia and Sasha in detail now. Malia is the eldest child of Barack and Michelle Obama, and she was born on the 4th of July 1998, in Chicago. Barack and Michelle often describe her as being wise and thoughtful. When Malia was young, she loved collecting keychains and taking drama classes. By the time she was in the 1st grade, she was setting her alarm and making her bed. That is very uncommon for a child of that age, and that too, who is coming from a very privileged family. Malia had a sense of normalcy in a good way from her childhood itself. That was evident in a story Barack Obama shared. When Malia was 6, she was walking by the lake with her dad and asked him a question. Malia asked her dad if they were rich, to which Obama replied that they are well off compared to most people, but not really rich. To which Malia said that it's good and she doesn't want to be rich and live a simple life. Obama was taken aback by that answer, just like you are right now. When Malia grew up, she turned into a person who really loved and enjoyed life and people and conversations. Obama says that Malia never gets bored, and that's a rare quality that can take her far. Now, you might wonder, does the daughter of the president have a normal life, like going out with friends or going to the prom? Well, yes, Malia had typical teenage moments. She went to prom as a sophomore in 2014. As to if she had a date, Obama jokingly says it is a piece of classified information, but he sure was taken aback by seeing his little girl all dressed up and in heels. Malia went to Harvard after completing her high school in 2016, but before that, she took a gap year. She graduated from Harvard in 2021. Their father shares that both the girls were so eager to move out and start their own lives. While she was taking a gap year and while she was at the university, Malia got into the TV industry. She was always interested in that, and that led her to intern on Lena Dunham's Girls and at the Weinstein Company. Then she moved on to become a production assistant on a sci-fi series Extant, and recently, Malia worked as a writer for a show on Amazon called Swarm. The co-creator of the show, Janine Neighbors, appreciates the work Malia did. Malia's talent is not just limited to the writing field. She has also tried working behind the camera. She wrote and directed a film called The Heart, and it was shown at the Sundance Film Festival in 2024. Here is a fun fact. While writing and directing the movie, Malia did not use her real name. Instead, she used the name Malia Ann. This film, The Heart, revolves around a grieving son who finds something shocking in her mother's will after her death. The film aims to touch the audience by showing the realities of human life during the time of loss. It focuses on loneliness, forgiveness, and regret, and while focusing on all that, it is about finding light-hearted moments and relief in those difficult feelings. Malia had one goal in mind while writing and directing this movie. It was to resonate with the audience and make them realize that they are not alone. Michelle Obama isn't afraid to show the love and admiration she has for her daughters, but while she speaks so highly of her daughters and says that they both are so close to each other, she does not play when it comes to their privacy. She has definitely shared some stories about Malia and Sasha, but not too much because she does not want to expose too much of their private details. Let's shed some light on the younger daughter of Barack and Michelle Obama, Sasha. Sasha Obama was born on June 10, 2001, in Chicago. As a child, she was into sports. Sasha played basketball. She also did gymnastics and tap dancing. Along with that, she used to spend time with her sister playing tennis and taking piano classes. The girls grew up in a chill environment where they had only one rule to follow, and that was no whining or complaining. While they were in Chicago, Michelle's mom, Marion Robinson, was also living with them, and she knew what Sasha and Malia were like as kids. Marion shares that Sasha is more like her mother, Michelle. She is hardworking, determined, and strong-minded. On the other hand, Malia is more like Michelle's brother, Craig, who is the more mature guy. That means Malia would do anything to maintain peace, and she also worries about things. When it comes to Sasha, her father shared that she is not afraid to say what she wants. If Sasha has an opinion on something, she will speak her heart out, no matter what the status or title of the person she's talking to is. Sasha will say what is right and what is wrong. What do you think about this trait of hers? Let us know down in the comments section. The Obamas have always praised their daughter's kindness and intelligence, but Sasha is also known for her sense of humor. Barack says that she is the family comedian, who is always full of energy. Sasha is the funny one, and her father is the one who is made fun of, and not in a bad way. The family loves teasing their dad, and they seem to enjoy it. Even Barack admitted that himself. He said that he is the one who is the target of jokes for the most part. For instance, if Barack mispronounces a word, maybe the name of any singer the girls listen to, that means it's time to be ready to be made fun of. You'll be surprised to know that one of Sasha's close friends is Maisie Biden, the granddaughter of President Joe Biden. When they were growing up, they were best friends and were also part of a basketball team called the Vipers. Barack mentions that both the girls talked about coaching their fourth-grade basketball team. Sasha and Maisie both went to Sidwell Friends School in Washington, D.C. After graduating, Sasha took admission in the University of Michigan in 2019. Soon after that, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and she got to take classes online and spend most of the time with her family. Barack says that while it might have felt claustrophobic for both his daughters, it was nothing short of a blessing for him and Michelle. The family had a great time, and Barack recalls how they used to have dinner together every night and play games and watch movies together. As of now, both Sasha and Malia have moved out and are living together in Los Angeles. This is a testament to the fact that they both share a very special bond. Fun fact: the first time Barack and Michelle found out that they were going to move out together was through an interview the girls gave in November 20, 22. The fact that they were going to live together made their mother very happy. Michelle shared that Sasha and Malia have made their apartment feel like home. Fun thing, they did all that on a budget, nothing fancy. Both girls invited their parents over for pre-dinner drinks. While everything was amazing, Michelle joked that their cocktail-making skills could use some improvement, especially when it comes to martinis. Sasha completed her graduation from the University of Southern California in 2023. Talking of Sasha, did you know she had a serious health concern? As the president, Barack Obama had to face many challenges, but nothing could have prepared him for what happened to his youngest daughter, Sasha. When she was just a baby, as we know now, Malia is now 25 and Sasha is 22, and both of them are healthy now, but when Sasha was 3 months old, she was diagnosed with meningitis. It is a fatal condition in which the tissue surrounding your brain or spine gets inflamed. While he was doing his 2012 election campaign, Barack burst into tears by remembering what was happening to his daughter. It was the hardest part of his life when Sasha was admitted to the hospital and had to go through a spinal tap, also known as a lumbar puncture. Obama praised the doctors for their work, but he was extra grateful to the nurses because they were taking care of Sasha 24/7. Michelle also remembers that day clearly. She says that one moment Sasha was all good and happy, but within an hour, she was so in pain and crying out loud. That wasn't anything Sasha had done before. Michelle did everything to help her, but she had to call a pediatrician. Eventually, the pediatrician advised her to seek medical attention immediately. Sasha was taken to the hospital and diagnosed with meningitis. Michelle says that they were lucky enough to get instant medical help because without it, things might have turned out differently. With God's grace, Sasha made a full recovery, and the Obama family is grateful for that every single day. Let's cover another family secret. Infertility and miscarriage are something that many women are afraid to talk about. It is understandable because that is very personal. The same was the case for Michelle Obama. It was very hard for her to open up about her miscarriage. Michelle says that it was not easy for her to get pregnant, and she did after trying so hard. She lost her first baby to a miscarriage. That was heartbreaking. She felt lost and alone, and she never realized that it was common, but nobody talked about it. So, she had no idea miscarriages are more common than we realize. A statistic showed that 10 to 25% of pregnancies end up in miscarriage. This is unfortunate, but true. Many women feel lost and alone and even blame themselves for it, which they should not. Some women even think that it could have been prevented, but that is not the case either, says Michelle Obama. She also advises women to share the truth about their bodies and that when one does not do that, it can be dangerous. After a miscarriage, Michelle did not give up. Eventually, the couple had to turn to IVF or in vitro fertilization. Michelle also talked about the biological clock and shared how women can face problems having babies when they are in their mid-30s or above because egg production decreases with age. It is due to openness like this from huge public figures like Michelle that a lot of people are becoming aware of things. Sharing her personal stuff with the public showed that she really wanted to help other women facing the same unfortunate situation. Let's move on to the next story. We know that Barack and Michelle are proud of their daughters, but they recently shared a secret in a candid conversation about life in the White House. They said that they have worked so hard to build an environment for their family that is loving and stable at the same time. Barack was at a fundraiser for Joe Biden in Los Angeles, and he was asked a question regarding his daughters. The interviewer asked if Malia or Sasha were planning to join politics or not, to which Barack replied with that lovely smile of his and said his answer without any hesitation whatsoever. He shared that he and his wife, Michelle, had already told their daughters that politics isn't the right path for them. He, in fact, called it crazy and said it would be insane to go into politics. As a father, he does not want his daughters to follow their dad's path. He also added that he is already very proud of his daughters. They have become powerful young women. He said life of the Obama family after leaving the White House. In her recent conversation with Melinda Gates, Michelle Obama talked about the pressure of perfectionism and how her family's life changed after they all left the White House. It was not easy, especially the emotional shift that came from once living a king's life in the presidential residence to living like regular people and following the everyday routine. Michelle shared her struggles as well as the sense of freedom she felt after leaving the White House. While reflecting on her life, Michelle told Melinda that being a woman and a person of color and coming from a working household, she always felt like there was something she needed to prove. It was the constant feeling of inadequacy that she had to fight every single day. Michelle agrees to fighting that "I am not good enough" thought that is there. Michelle shares that the contributor to these feelings hasn't been her home and family. She has always had a supporting and encouraging environment, but the outside world is not like that. It is completely different. Coming to leaving the White House part, Michelle says that it felt very strange to leave the White House in their final helicopter ride on Air Force One. After that last ride on that helicopter, the family went to Palm Springs. At the time of that vacation, they felt like it was just a break like the ones they had 100 times before. But when they stepped into their new home, that's when it hit them. They knew it was real, and Michelle shares that it felt strange adjusting to this life. It wasn't easy. Being in the White House, they had to do nothing like driving or worrying about their safety, but in their new home, it felt off, driving down the street, even though they still had Secret Service looking after them. For the first time in years, they could invite friends or whomever they want. And the dogs, while they were in the White House, they never heard a bell, so hearing a doorbell ring made them all confused. Returning to a normal lifestyle was a big change for the Obama family, and it made them realize how limited a life they were living inside the White House.